Hi everyone, today we will discuss a cool film plot. The title is The Equalizer. The Equalizer is a 2014 American action thriller film directed by Antoine Fuqua, based on the screenplay written by Richard Wank. The film stars Denzel Washington as McCall and Martin Showcase as Teddy. Before we get to the plot of the film, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button. In the first scene, a bald man is shown. He was preparing his own needs such as making breakfast, brushing shoes and others. The man's name was McCall. McCall's house is very closed and dark. He lives alone. Since his wife is long dead, every night McCall goes to a cafe where he often meets a girl named Alina. Alina works as an entertainer. Actually, she had wanted to leave her job for a long time, but her boss forbade her. Alina often gets hit and tortured by her boss. One time when McCall and Alina were walking home, suddenly Alina's boss came by car. Alina's boss is called Slavi. Slavi got out of the car and immediately hit Alina. McCall, who saw this and stayed silent. Slavi even gave McCall their agency's business card. The next day McCall hears that Alina is in the hospital. He went to visit her there. Alina's friend told him that all this was Slavi's doing. Slavi splashed the acid on her face and it burned. It was a warning because Alina wanted to quit the job. The next day McCall comes to Slavi's headquarters with 9,800 in cash. His goal was to free Alina from her cruel job. But Slavi insulted him and told him to leave. At first McCall was going to leave, but he turned around and Slavi's men started attacking him. With his ability McCall managed to kill them all. Then their big boss named Teddy got the news that his men were all killed. Teddy came to the place where the case happened and he felt he's losing his business. On the other hand, McCall's co-worker Ralphie is in trouble. His mother's restaurant was burned by the police, so that Ralphie's mother was forced to pay them money. But McCall managed to fix this problem. The scene switches to Alina's place. She looks better than before. There was also Teddy, who asked her about Slavi, but Alina said that she didn't know anything about Slavi. Teddy got Alina drinking water not long after he strangled her neck with his arm until it was broken. Teddy suspects that McCall killed Slavi and his men. He also managed to find where McCall lives and interrogated him. The answers given by McCall was considered normal and there was nothing suspicious. But Teddy remains curious about McCall's figure. He also plans to capture McCall alive. McCall is indeed very clever in tactics and estimates. Even in his own house, Teddy and his men couldn't find his whereabouts at all. McCall installed many CCTVs in every corner of the house, which he placed either on the clock or in the form of a regular camera. Because he couldn't find McCall, Teddy finally left and went home. Now it's McCall's turn to look for informations about Teddy and his men. He found out that Slavi, the people he had killed, were very influential in Russian Mafia. Then McCall forced one of Teddy's men to give information about Teddy, but he didn't want to answer at all. McCall went to a banknote-making factory and a slaughterhouse. There he freed workers who were forced to work and distributed the money for free. There McCall also arrested a policeman named Frank because he was part of Teddy's men. He also blows up Teddy's big ship and business tanks. The explosion caused tens of millions of damage. The rest of Teddy's men took Ralphie as a hostage to force McCall to come see Teddy within 30 minutes. Traps and sieges have been prepared by Teddy and his men. Again, with his intelligence, McCall managed to free Ralphie and started to kill Teddy's men. Meanwhile, Ralphie, who had been released, was ordered by McCall to free others who were also held hostage. This time the flight took place at McCall's workplace. There McCall set a trap for Teddy. He also did not forget to turn off all the lights. Ralphie's job was to get his friends to escape through the back door. The first trap that McCall made managed to kill one of Teddy's men. Likewise, the next trap made one of Teddy's men stabbed with a spear in his neck. Teddy, who saw his men dead, is now more careful. McCall fights with one of Teddy's men. He manages to kill him, but he is also seriously injured. Luckily, Ralphie came to his aid because McCall had previously told Ralphie to get everyone out without anyone being left behind. When the two of them tried to hide and run away, one of them stumbled and screamed. This makes Teddy knows their location and keeps shooting at them. McCall had a new idea and told Ralphie to go to the switch in just 40 seconds. Ralphie rushed to the switchboard. Once he got there, he immediately turned on all the lights. Then one of McCall's traps exploded, killing one of Teddy's men. Teddy immediately rushed to the switch when he was about to shoot Ralphie, who was behind the door. Apparently McCall had fired one bullet from behind. Teddy immediately turned around, then McCall shot him again in the left arm. Somehow Teddy was still able to walk. Without a second thought, McCall shot his body until he died. After confirming that Teddy was no longer moving, McCall immediately left, even though Ralphie was trapped and couldn't get out of the switch room. Next, McCall didn't go straight home, but he went to a place he called the Head of the Serpent. Where was the leader of all this evil business? At first McCall killed all the guards. Then he went to the leader's room. The man was taking a shower. Suddenly McCall turned off the light and sat right outside the bathroom. After a while the man came out. Wrapped in a towel. The man turned on the light. Then McCall turned on the sink faucet until the water spilled out, and he had cut the light wire so it shorted out. So the man died from the shock on the floor. The next day when McCall came out of a shop he was followed by a girl, who turned out to be Alina. Alina told him that the stitches on her neck were already dry and now she is starting to like reading books. Alina tells the story with a happy face. Now she is free from her bad job. Before she said goodbye she kissed McCall on the cheek and McCall just smiled sweetly. Then they returned to their own homes. That night McCall went to his regular cafe and he had coffee while chatting with Alina. Here the film come to his end. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick recap and don't forget to support us by liking, commenting and subscribing.